Hi, my name is Tiffany from Tiffany's Tarology, and welcome to another tarot reading with me. We're going to be diving into the energy of this beautiful full moon in Leo. I'm going to start off the reading by asking you to just get calm, to relax, and to enjoy this reading, to really put your energy out there so that you may receive a message from Spirit if this message is meant for you. I have already set the intention that this reading will meet those who need to see it exactly where they are. So I hope that this message is impactful, that you gain something from this. And if you're interested in connecting with me outside of YouTube, I do have some information in my description box below that'll tell you a little bit about services that I offer. And also if you're on Instagram, I'm very active there, so you can find me there as well. But we're going to go ahead and dive in. We're going to go over some oracle cards, and then we'll turn the camera towards the table and we'll dive into a more in-depth tarot reading. You can check the timestamps below if you're interested in just diving directly into the tarot reading, but I definitely would recommend that you stay for the oracle. So let's get started there. So our first oracle card that we have for today is the new moon in Aries, which says go for it. Spirit wants you to focus in on what it is that you have been thinking about, planning, plotting. This full moon is culminating a 6-month cycle where we possibly started something around the time of August that is finally coming to a close. What did you gain? What did you learn? And where do you see yourself now that you've come a full 6 months, if you can believe it? And how do you intend to go after those new dreams, ambitions, and goals? Something that I recommend for everybody is that if you don't know your birth chart, I recommend that you get acquainted with it and know where these different planetary aspects lie in your chart, as it will help you have a better understanding of how these full and new moons will have an impact on you. Our second oracle card is new moon in Cancer. It says relax. So this is a time for you, although that Aries energy is here, Spirit wants you to jump out of the driver's seat occasionally over these next 6 months as you're starting to build back up to that energy of a new moon in Leo in August. And remind yourself that while it's okay for you to really jump out, go after what you want, you still need to reel it back in occasionally for your mental health and for your overall well-being, and just relax and understand that this is a time of flow. So many of my readings on my Instagram and my YouTube have been letting us know that it's time for us to reel it back, to allow Spirit to be in flow of where we're going next, and to just trust the process. So if you're the type that's like, I want to do it all, I know I can do this, I know where Spirit is leading me, yes, go after it, but also reel it back and remember to take some time to relax, to rest, to integrate the energies that we're receiving. Because there has been so much going on with the Schumann resonance, solar flares, all of those things are impacting us at this time, and it's a beautiful time to be alive, but it can be a little chaotic. Our last oracle is last quarter moon in Aquarius, reflect on your priorities. So this current period that you've been going through probably taught you, what matters to me? What do I want to set intentions for this, completion of this cycle? How have I changed over the last 6 months? What have I gained? How can I integrate that into my next 6 months of my life as we go into the new moon in Aquarius energy pretty soon? We'll have a video for that as well. But really think about, what did it come down to over the last 6 months that you were like, you know what, I can't sacrifice this part of myself anymore. Whether it be where you don't give yourself enough self-love, respect, time. Maybe you're also being underpaid at a job, or you don't feel fulfilled at a job. Maybe a relationship has run its course and it's time to cut ties, even if just for a little bit. Maybe you've been searching for a job and you just have not been able to figure out what it is that you want. Spirit wants you to really hone in and reflect on those priorities, what matters to you, what you gained from that new moon in Leo, and somehow, some way, you should be able to come to some kind of conclusion about how to move forward. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and turn the camera away from me and onto the cards, and we'll dive into your tarot reading. So let's go. Okay, so we are in front of the deck that I've already pre-shuffled for you guys from my Earth Magic Oracle cards. We have Spring Equinox, Rebirth. We have Crystals, Focus. And we have Island, Solitude. So this is very interesting energy, I feel like, for Leo. But we go with what Spirit gives us and we dive into those meanings. So when I see this rebirth card, I think of the woman taming the lion on the strength card in traditional tarot. There's something that you're going through with this full moon where you're starting to uncover those parts of yourself. Remember, we had to reflect on our priorities. It's time to move forward with things that we've been wanting to do and relax into this new era. So there's possibly been a revival of who you were over the last 6 months, where it's like you were doing the groundwork, you were doing the footwork, right? You were starting to realize who you are and who you're to become, how situations are unfolding, and maybe some cycles that you've been putting yourself in time and time again that finally need to just be closed. Chapters need to end so that when this full moon comes in, there's a rebirth, a revival of who you are. You're going to come out stronger, faster, more beautiful, more handsome, more aligned with your destiny. And Spirit wants you to know that this is the prime opportunity and the prime time for you to set those intentions of the rebirth, of the new you, as you walk into this new era. Honestly, I'm just feeling that energy of like a whole new era of who you are. With the crystals, there's this need to get grounded, to get focused on what it is that you're trying to do moving forward. There's this cave that you've been in, right? So maybe some of you have felt like you've been in hermit mode, which is where this solitude card is coming into play. You've been in hermit mode for a while, or it's time to go into hermit mode to focus on what it is that Spirit wants you to really go through and close up. Some of you are not going to be able to obviously close these chapters as soon as the full moon occurs on the 25th of January, but you're going to start to get a crystal clear focus and vision of where you want life to go and how you want life to be. There's a call to get connected back to the earth, to crystals, to divination practices, meditation practices, because there's a part of you that has remained dormant for a while. And I feel like Spirit is saying there's glimmers of hope. I'm seeing this light that's kind of coming into this cavern. See if you guys can see that. There's glimmers of hope there for this rebirth process, for you to focus on what it is that Spirit has for you. You're starting to uncover lost parts of yourself, remembering who you are, remembering your strengths, having more self-respect, giving yourself more self-care, and taking your time to go through this process. This chapter has been long. This chapter has been eye-opening in a lot of ways. And through it, from spending a lot of time in solitude, this is a beautiful card here. There is a little bit of a glare. I do apologize. Through this solitude that you've gone through, you learned so much. There's this light peeking through the clouds here. There was a lot of darkness that you're walking away from. This portion of the card is very, very dark. It's not your eyes playing tricks on you. It's very, very dark. And here you were, sitting all by your lonesome, in this really new state that you have been in. You've been growing, you've been learning, you've been uncovering parts of yourself for the last 6 months that are teaching you, helping you, guiding you towards a new cycle of your life, a new birthed person, the rebirth energy. But when we're in solitude, we take time to hear what Spirit needs us to hear. So a lot of us over these last 6 months, maybe we were placed in solitude. Maybe we found refuge in somewhere new. I know I did. I left a very toxic job and ended up at a different job that gave me the space and the time to really reflect on my priorities in regard to my career. And there's light that is coming through that Spirit's like, did you get this message through the solitude? Did you hear me loud and clear? Because I feel like a lot of you that went into that solitude, you're getting ready to come out of it. That's the energy that I'm feeling there. But the rebirth process is going to be beautiful and it's going to be transformational. We're going to dive into the tarot and we're going to see what else Spirit wants us to know about this rebirth that we're going through, this time to take action with the Leo full moon, and see what it is that Spirit has to say for us. I like to do poppers. And we'll go over all of these at the end. This is the This Might Hurt tarot deck, for those of you who might be wondering. I'm always watching YouTubers and wondering, what is that deck they're using? So I try to mention what mine are. First card we had jump out is the Emperor card. Oh, the second is the Sun, Leo energy. So we have Aries and Leo energy already popping out. Beautiful fire to keep you moving forward. Three of Swords, Knight of Wands. We're going to pull 4 more. The Star. I'll have to kind of cover her up because she is a bit nudie tootie. Got the Star card there. We have the Seven of Pentacles. That one wanted to pop. I need 2 more, Spirit. We will clarify anything that needs to be clarified. Judgment. Ooh wee. Y'all going through it. I'm part of this though, so I shouldn't even say y'all. So we are going through it. And our last energy here from our tarot is Page of Pentacles. It's on the bottom of the deck. 2 of Wands. Love it. I love reading the card on the bottom of the deck because I feel like it gives me like an idea of the main theme. So I'm going to pull this card here. So you got that new moon in Aries that said that it's time for you to move, time for you to go for it. This person in this particular 2 of Wands is sitting on their car. It looks like they're in like the Grand Canyon somewhere in the desert. So there's not a lot of shrubbery, foliage, water. It's been kind of a dry spell possibly for you for a while, and you're starting to map out where you want to go next. I see a lot of free spirit energy in this card, someone who is going and willing to take a risk on their own and for themselves. I also see someone who may have been going through a lot of energetic frequency changes when I see this 9 of Wands sitting below it. There's been a time period for you where things have not made a whole lot of sense and things have been hidden from you. Things have been difficult to map out and plan, but Spirit wanted to get your attention. I see with this Judgment card here of, are you going to listen to the call of your soul and go where your soul is being led? So that is going to be an energy that we're going to focus in on as we go through these cards here. I'm going to adjust my seat really quickly. All right. So with the Emperor card, Aries energy, we are being asked, again, I want to bring out my 2 of Wands. In the traditional tarot, the 2 of Wands is holding a globe, and this Emperor card is holding a globe in his hand, right? You're being asked to go where you need to go where you feel called, to go where you have more priorities in mind, in places where you know that your heart belongs. This full moon in Aries is like you learned the lessons, you went through the cycles, you learned a lot about yourself, you met a lot of people who helped to structure you over the last 6 months, and now you're going to need to take action from a place of masculine energy and authority. I think of Leo as a masculine energy, but of course there is the Lioness who is more of the hunter and not really the defender. But I want you to look at it however you feel called and understand that this period of your life you had to go through over the last 6 months so that you would take control of your life and begin to move to that next level. When I see the Emperor, he embodies all the energies of every single king in the tarot deck. So the King of Cups, the King of Wands, Pentacles, and Swords. He has all of that knowledge because he's been through so much. He's fought many battles. This one, I see him in a business suit. There has been a lot of intellectual battles that you've been going through as well. And it's time for you to lay the foundation for your future as you see fit. I'm going to adjust these cards. Adjust these cards really quick so they don't fall down. Here we go. Okay. With the Sun card, Leo energy. There's an illumination about where life is headed for you next. So many of you have already seen the light, will be seeing the light, especially in the next 2 weeks, of where you are to go next. When we see dogs in tarot, there's 2 dogs, a puppy and an adult dog here. There's a lot of protective energy from your spirit guides. You may be seeing 444, as that means protection from your spirit team. And as you're moving into this new phase, this Leo energy, I want to say by the summer, when that new moon in Leo hits again, you're going to be in a completely different place in your life than you were now. For those of you who are actually heeding the call, because again, remember, the judgment call, or the judgment card, I should say, is a judgment call of, checks and balances. Did you listen? Were you paying attention to what spirit put out into the universe? If you don't listen, we have free will. You often go through you often go through similar cycles until you learn what it is that you're supposed to learn. So are you going to heed the call, understand that you are divinely protected at this time, and go after what it is that your heart is yearning for? When we see this baby here, there is this new lease on life, this vigor, this innocence, this vulnerability that spirit is asking you to move into, to move towards. With this 3 of Swords, the last 6 months and the culmination, you learned a lot of heartbreak. You went through a lot of devastation. But the beauty in the 3 of Swords is the information and the clarity that you gain. Life is not a box of chocolates. Life is not sunshine and roses every single day. There's going to be heartbreak. There's going to be setbacks. And there may have been 2 other people in yourself, or 3 people in particular, who really showed themselves to you this past 6 months. And you've begun to realize, this just doesn't fit my vibe. This doesn't fit my tribe. My priorities have changed since 6 months ago, and this is not where I want to be. We'll probably clarify this to see what else Spirit wants us to know about those 3 of Swords, but there was some heartbreak that ultimately is going to get you to where you need to be, though. You don't have to worry about the energy of not knowing what's next. If you really tap in and speak with Spirit, you're going to know exactly what to do next, and that's where this Knight of Wands comes in. You're passionately, fire energy, right? So this could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, moving towards whatever it is that Spirit has put on your radar. This is a time for you to begin a new adventure, start that new business, begin to venture out on your own, take a leap of faith. All of those things, begin a new romantic relationship, excel, or I want to say elevate within a career ladder. But it's time for you to really put the pedal to the metal. That's why we see a motorcycle here, because even though there is this need for you to relax and to ease into this period, it is time for you to go for it. Remember, we got that new moon in Aries card that said, it's time to go for it. It's time to move. And if you don't move, I fear you might be pushed. And if you don't learn the lessons, I fear you may go through these cycles again. So when we take charge of our own lives, when we take the reins, that's when we can benefit the most, because we don't have to go through all the trials and tribulations of resisting the judgment call upon our lives. All right. With the Star card, there has been profound healing that has occurred over the last 6 months. You learned how to alchemize your pain. You learned how to find your sense of center. You learned how to call upon your ancestors, your spirit guides, to really give you the proper information for what is your next step. You listen to your intuition, and you are receiving abundance and joy and prosperity because you heeded the call, because you listened to what Spirit wanted you to listen to. You went through the process of, I fell down, I learned a lot, I'm getting back up, and this time I'm healing myself. This has been a very self-made journey for the most of us over the last 6 months. You may have had people in your corner, you may have had people help you get to where you are, but ultimately you had to search within your own heart, within your own self, to determine those next steps. And I'm very proud of you, because the Star card is about hope, renewal, rejuvenation, about having faith. And you didn't give up on yourself even when you went through that 3 of Swords energy. You alchemized that 3 of Swords energy into something more powerful. With our 7 of Pentacles, Spirit says You did a lot of work over the last 6 months and you're about to see it all pay off. He's smiling, he's looking up, his trees are starting to fruit. And that's the beauty of sticking with the process, trusting in Spirit's divine plan for your life. You did the work. It wasn't easy. You can tell he's a little sweaty. It wasn't easy, but you did it. You stood up for yourself. You stood in the gap. You made those alterations. And some of you will continue over the next couple of weeks to next couple of months. You will continue to slowly pull yourself out of a situation that you're in. But it took strategy. It took willpower. It took faith. It took ups and downs, honestly, because we know when trees are planted and we're going into the harvest season, there's times where there's dry spells. We lose some of our crop yield over time. We end up finding that, wow, this suited this particular plant better this year than last year. Like, you start to learn about yourself. And that's where that rebirth energy, that solitude energy, I feel that heavily within this card. You went into the darkness and found the light. And now you're about to reap what you sowed. And again, we've kind of talked about this Judgment card over and over again, but there was a lot that Spirit was saying I won't even say there was a lot. There was a big message where Spirit was saying, will you heed the call that I have for your life? You probably were put into situations that made you reevaluate boundaries, situations that helped you to see where there was faults that you could change, maybe situations that you could not change and you were ushered out. I had a friend that shared with me that she was recently let go from her job. I said, that is beautiful because that was not where you were supposed to be. And so instead of you leaving, Spirit said, here you go. Here's your exit plan. And now they're in a much better situation and it was unexpected. So don't always expect Spirit to be so gentle and so kind. But even that's not necessarily kind to be fired from your job. But you know what I mean? Like, make those necessary changes and strategize your way forward without necessarily needing to be kicked in the butt. Page of Pentacles means this new endeavor, this new journey that you're going on is going to be a long one, but it's going to pay off. This Leo energy, this, heart-centered decision that you had to make, this pride that you had to put behind you and self-respect that you had to give yourself is going to help you as you propel yourself forward. I definitely would recommend that you really write down intentions for what you are letting go and what you're bringing in. I do fire ceremonies typically every full and new moon. And depending on how you feel, you may want to do a new moon ceremony where you set intentions for things to begin, full moon where you release. But I often believe that they kind of are interchangeable because you can release things into the ethers to call things in, and you can set intentions to have things come in as you release things out. So it's really interchangeable, but definitely you're starting a new path, a new journey. You're going on a brand new adventure with this upcoming full moon in Leo, and it's just getting started. It's in its infancy, so be patient with yourself, okay? I'm going to go ahead and look into the energy of this Three of Swords. So I'm going to put these cards away. We'll pull a couple more oracle cards, and that'll be the end of the reading. I don't want to draw out the reading too long. I want you to get the message that Spirit has for you. Get in, get out, feel good, enjoy yourself. Hope you had a cup of coffee or some tea to kind of keep you calm. But Spirit, tell us a little bit about this Three of Swords and what it is that the viewers of this video probably went through over the last 6 months. Keep in mind, guys, this is a general reading, so it might not resonate with all of you guys, or the examples I give may not resonate, but see how it could work for you and how this energy could fit into your life. So Three of Swords, Spirit. Three of Swords. You have the Moon card, the Magician. Okay, I thought that was an extra card under it. We're going to do one more. Six of Wands. I'm actually going to clarify. What's this Moon card, Spirit? What was kept hidden? Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. Okay. So, with the moon card, you had to face your shadow self. Some of you, the sword was actually a sword that you self-inflicted. Not everybody. But you had to see the truth of other people. Wolf in sheep's clothing comes to mind when I see this. They have wolf masks on. There's this energy where you had to say to yourself, I don't know if what I'm seeing is true. I don't know if the people that are around me are being truthful. And I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a positive or a negative realization in my life. But you had to be positive anyways. See all sides of the spectrum of the coin and understand that you probably ran into some tricksters and some people that didn't have your best interest, but you learned, even if you didn't have your own best interest. This card also has some nudity on it, so I'm going to cover it up. With the Magician, you may have been dealing with some self-doubt about your power, and you let people take advantage of you. If this had been in the reverse, there could have been a manipulative person. But I feel like this was you not seeing you for who you are. And it took you some time to realize that you have the wand, the cup, the sword, the pentacle. You don't need this situation, this person, these people, whatever it was. And with the Six of Wands, you did realize this, which is beautiful, and you will be recognized for your bravery, for the way you move forward. Spirit says what you also didn't see is that you could have done, because I clarified the moon card with this. Oh my gosh, can't pick it up. You could have done a lot of this work that you were putting yourself through all by yourself. So some of you, you may have found that being single was honestly the best thing for you. Some of you have also probably figured out making your own streams of income are what are better for you. As we move into the age of Aquarius, we're going to see more and more of that. But this Ace of Wands energy here, so there was a realization of your power, of your truth. You probably also found out some truth about other people who were withholding from you or people who weren't being upright, especially since it clarified the moon. But what was hidden from you, I think, was the truth of yourself, that you are the alchemist, that you are the magician, that you are so protected, and that your ideas and your abundance will be there for you. Abundance does not always mean income, but in this case, it can for sure. But it could also mean health. It can mean mental health. It can mean abundant relationships where there's love, proper give and take, acceptance for who you are. Put yourself, where you go. But there was a lack of that, I feel like. So this full moon, again, I'm going to bring out our Moonology cards. I'm going to put these away. I'm going to wrap it up. You need to go for it. You need to relax and ease into it. There's no forcing the situation. You're more powerful than that. And you need to reflect on your priorities. Where in your life is it time to make a major shift and realize your abundance and who you are? So I hope this message reached you. I hope that this resonated with you. And if you want to get connected with me again, check the description. And last but not least, if you would like to help me to grow this channel and you receive something from this message, please like, comment, subscribe. It would really help. And I hope that you have a wonderful full moon, and we'll meet again for our new moon in Aquarius coming up very soon. And I'll talk to you later, collective. Bye.